Hey, good morning. Let's go over today's trade plan. So in the overnight session, the market has been trading in the lower part of yesterday's range, and so far we've seen a breakdown attempt below yesterday's low. And early in the session, how the market behaves at the 44.70 to 79 initial support, which we're also using as the bull bear zone, is going to help set the bias on the day. And the bigger question is whether the market is now going to put in a successful and sustainable larger time frame balance breakdown, or are larger time frame buyers going to step in and push the market back up towards the 4500 high volume node and the 4525 high volume node. So the market is at this very critical point, and in order for us to get a sustainable breakdown, we will need to see signs of initiative selling in real time. So we'll need to see continued broad market weakness and sustained downside momentum, and ideally the other markets also breaking lower. If those conditions are present and the market breaks and then holds below 44.70, then we would have a bearish confirmation, and that would then open the door for downside range expansion into 44.54 to 61, with potential to head lower into 44.33.5 to 42.75 and the 44.17 to 24.5 area, where we have the next key high volume node at 44.19, and by that point in time the market would also be exhausting the range potential of the day, so there would be a higher probability for responsive buyers to step in at 44.17 to 24.5, as well as around the 44.0975 to 12.75 area. So how the market behaves here at the bull bear zone is going to be very telling. On the upside, we have the aggressive area of resistance at 44.85 to 88, followed by the pre-market resistance zone at 44.92 quarter to 96 quarter, and then we have the intraday bias changing zone, the initial resistance zone at 44.97 to 45.07, and that's the zone that would need to be taken out in order for our intraday bias to turn bullish and in order for buyers to begin regaining control in any significant way. And I think there's potential to run stops above the overnight high and especially above 44.97 to 45.07. So if we can get a successful breakout above initial resistance, that would make our intraday bias bullish. It would be the first notable confirmation that larger time frame buyers are stepping in, and that could then open the door for a move up into 45.17 quarter to 27 quarter, where responsive sellers may be active on first test. But if the market is pushing up on some pretty big upside momentum and we're getting a short covering rally, then the market may even end up going up into the 45.3575 to 44.75 area. The only thing that might take away from that idea is the fact that it's a Friday and we're heading into the weekend, so traders may want to pair some risk and take some profits, and that alone can result in sellers stepping in at 45.17 quarter to 27 quarter, and that might make it a bit tougher to get to 45.3575 to 44.75. Now, as far as our short-term bias goes, that continues to be neutral, and how the market behaves at the bull bear zone and the initial resistance zone is what's going to set the intraday bias. So again, we need to be more dynamic, we need to be more flexible, and we need to be much more mindful of how the intraday pattern is shaping up. So just another reminder to be a bit more selective and cautious on the trade setups that you take today, and be mindful of how the day's bias is shaping up, because that will get more weight. As far as our intermediate time frame bias goes, well, that's going to be neutral bullish today, and how the market behaves at the bull bear zone is really going to have an impact on the intermediate time frame bias. So if today the market puts in a sustainable balance breakdown, then our intermediate term bias will likely shift to neutral. So again, this is a larger time frame inflection point, and we are going to need to see some real force from the sellers in order to break down, and the onus here really is on the sellers. I know the market has been weak recently, but we're at this larger time frame inflection point where buyers have potential to defend. This is an idea I've been talking about for about a week now. 44.70 has been a key level. So how the market behaves here is going to be very significant on the larger time frame. So that is the market context and trade plan heading into the open. Let's see how the real-time situation shapes up and how the market behaves at the 44.70 to 79 initial support and bull bear zone. That's going to help set the bias on the day and likely going forward, and we'll take it from there.